Hey Ratbags, it's Jade today giving you a guide on ATOMFALL and all the skill manuals. These are basically extra perks that you can give yourself to improve your melee damage, your gun control, bow damage and a lot more. They're scattered throughout the game and each one will unlock a tier of skills that you can then spend your stimulants on. Each one's got different costs which I won't bore you with, you can work that out yourself, but yeah, some of them range from like 1 stimulant up to 7. But there are also duplicates of some of these manuals that will give you the same skills in different locations, so I'm going to show you every single one. I'll separate it into region because then that way, if you don't want loads of spoilers, well then you can ignore one or you can just find the easiest ones. Pretty much I'm going through each region showing you every skill book. So yeah, you can always come back to the video if you're still a bit stuck when you get to the next zone. Leave a like, find it useful, let's go. So starting off with Slattendale, if you find Molly, the trader, she's actually got one of the first ones that you need. I think it's really good, it's stealth. This will unlock the 3 abilities, one which will mean quieter takedowns from behind, the second would be that your footsteps are going to be quieter as you approach enemies, and the third is that you'll do more damage to unaware enemies if you simply just come behind and whack them. So you can trade with Molly, and yes, you can take the option to go ahead and kill her, but I don't recommend that because at some point you will have to come back to her if you want to pick up a archery skill. But you need to have bought the stealth skill first and then come back to her after you've gone and adventured into the interchange and unlocked the first door, for which you will need an atomic battery. I won't say or take you there too much more, I'll let you work that out. But once you come back to her after that, you'll get the archery one. If you don't fancy trading with her though, there is another stealth manual which I'll show you as well, which is in Casterfell Woods alongside the second archery one. But honestly, this one is a game changer. I already think the bow is one of the best weapons. As long as you can line up headshots, it will take out almost any enemy, apart from maybe some of the more tougher ghouls later. But while the bow is fully drawn, pressing the left stick in will actually slow down time. So even if you've got the most dog crap aim, you'll still be able to pull off some headshots utilising this. The other 2 skills are that you'll pull back on the string much quicker, and a skill that means your heart rate won't affect your aim. You find Molly in the north 2679 in this small little box area. You should find some flags outside the wall. Pretty close by, we're going to be heading to the outlaw cave. Just in that doorway here, there will be maybe 4, 5, maybe 6 of these guys, so you might want to come here with a decent set of weapons, or at least a gun. As always, look out for traps. And of course I'm going to show you how to get the unlock for that one so you can dismantle the traps. But the skill we're after in this cave is one for your melee abilities. I do highly recommend actually your bow is probably your best bet, although there's plenty of explosive barrels in the main part of this cavern. I did nearly miss this because I jumped down into the main pit, but I found this on the way back up, so follow the rise and it should be on the middle section of this cave. On the right hand side you will find another trap, so look out for that. On the side you'll find the melee manual. Pretty much a must for anyone that really wants to do a melee playthrough. You can reduce the cost of your heart rate when you're using a melee weapon, do more damage with heavy melee attacks, and increase damage with melee weapons. It's all the way on the western side of Slattendale, 2475. So moving on to Casterfell Woods, you'll find a mysterious trader towards the south where you find the castle. Billy here's got the consumable manual which unlocks gut health, meaning food items going to give you a defense buff. Buff duration also extends for the length of your active buffs, and the third one is blue fingers, letting you safely go ahead and take some of the blue spores that you might come across from them weird plants. And just like the other traders, if you go ahead and kill him, he will go ahead and have the manual on his body, or simply trade with him. And similar to Molly, if you go ahead and buy that skill from him, but also come back a little later on, he should also have a resistance manual, which is going to give you poison, bleed and burn resistance. Now I'd completed the game by the time I'd done this and I didn't ever save the most recent one, but according to my friend that was pretty much completing the game pretty much at the same speed as me. It was after the second doorway had opened in the interchange. Otherwise, of course, I'll show you the other resistance manual book that you can pick up, which is in the interchange. You'll find Billy to the northwest 2189. And while you're that close, you might want to venture just a bit more north towards the dam, as there's going to be a dead body that's got something interesting on it. Pretty much exactly here on the map. So obviously this area might be quite dangerous with some of the triffid style plants about. But if you go over to the left hand side, you'll notice this body called Jenks, and he's got a note talking about Datlow Manor. Inside this country mansion, which has got a lot of traps outside, so pay attention, you'll find a kind of almost senile lady. If you show her or tell her that Jenks is dead, she'll pretty much trust you with her key that'll open up the doorway to the conservatory. I'm pretty sure you could probably kill her and get the key that way too. But do you really want to murder someone that looks like the Queen? The dear departed dead Queen? Shit, maybe I should have. But head outside the manor, walk around the building, and you'll find the conservatory which you can open. Inside you'll find the skeleton of her sister, and close by you'll find another stealth manual. So pointless if you've already gone and got the first one from Molly. But yeah, this one's free at least, and you never know, you might have gone and started exploring some of Casterfell Woods before maybe taking a deeper look at Slattendale, which is totally doable. And yeah, just a reminder, it gives you quieter footsteps, quicker takedowns, and do more damage to unaware enemies. It's to the southeast at 2684. And the third and final one in, obviously, Casterfell Woods is the archery one that I mentioned earlier. And it is going to be at the castle, just to the right of the entrance before you go into it. You should find it here with a bow and plenty of arrows. You can sneak past the druid's camp, then go for 1983, that's the coordinates of it. Or you can go up the other castle ruins entrance, which actually takes you to this main castle, but you will have to clear out quite a lot of enemies. Okay, next up is Windham. Although from this point on, some of these manuals do require maybe adventures to other biomes, like the later ones like Skethmoore or the interchange, or deeper into the interchange in fact, or maybe even a trip back to Casterfell Woods. All just depends on how you want to get some of these manuals. So head to the garage, and on one of the tables you should find a key and a note directing you to the bakery. So if you talk to the baker's wife, she'll give you a sob story about her husband, and that she would really love a antidote from the spores that you can pick up that Mother Jago's got the recipe for, or basically asks you to go and get, to go ahead and make one of them potions to hopefully cure her husband. So if you haven't done that yet, you'd have to go back to Mother Jago, go through the story beats, or go and explore certain places in Casterfell. And another little FYI, but the captain of the Protocol Corps basically wants you to spy and get the truth about whether or not her husband is maybe alive, dead, or a ghoul. If you do have the antidote, I do believe you can trade with her and basically take a bunch of food if you really want it. Or it should give you the option to actually pass her the antidote. Either way, if you don't, you can actually go and get this manual book without doing any of this. If you head to the upstairs, you'll find the door where her husband is, and obviously you've got the key from the garage. And her husband is, turning into a ghoul, so he will pretty much try attacking you. It does a little bit of damage, but you can actually just lead him on and just run past him. If you do go ahead and kill him, his wife's obviously going to be upset and she'll try attacking you as well. So, let them live their lives. You just run into the room and pick up the manual. FYI, he can open the door. And this is how you pick up another one of the consumable perks, which give you gut health, buff duration, and the ability to pick up the blue spores. So once you got out there, next door is the general shop, and you're going to meet a man called Morris. He's a creepy one for sure. This is pretty much one of the most important manuals to get from him, and if you kill him, you can pick up the crafting manual, which allows you to go ahead and upgrade your guns. Another one of the skills is that you'll be able to carry more supplies and ammo, increases it to 75 max for the pistol, 120 SMG ammo, 30 arrows, 45 rifle ammo, and 30 shotgun ammo. Or maybe not as useful, but obviously part of this set, crafting time will be reduced. So if you don't want to kill him, well, how do you get it? If you head to the church inside the village, you'll find a dead person and the vicar and obviously his helper being very concerned. Not for you to go and tell any of the protocol soldiers what's happened. Turns out the priest is maybe a bit of a scumbag too, and basically Morris has murdered this person. Of course, you're going to have to maybe prove that. So there's a note they can find in the village in one of the abandoned buildings. Otherwise, you can head directly up to the ruins, which are pretty high on a hill, and you'll notice there is some army dudes shooting at rats or maybe some of the wasps. Outside one of the buildings, you'll find a cellar door. Be careful of some rats and clamber through a few crawl holes and you'll find a barred box as well as another note. Make sure you scour this place properly, as there's a second note that tells that Morris is meant to go and kill Maisie, the dead person in the church. So if you go ahead and confront Morris about this, he'll basically try and bribe you with the crafting manual. Honestly, unless you're really trying to playstyle a certain role and maybe become one with the soil, you might as well just go and kill him and it should have it on his body. In actual fact, if you do kill him, he will have a second one, which is obviously totally useless because you can only learn these books once. And the last one to get in Windham is actually a special perk. It's not actually a manual, but it will unlock a set of skills. Head back to the church and find the cellar door. Now, you won't actually be able to open it until you get the cellar door key, and that's going to take a bit of a journey over to the interchange. So this one does get convoluted. You're going to have to basically power up Alpha section in the interchange, requiring another atomic battery, and more than likely this device that you'll get as you progress through the story, which helps turn off turrets and redirect electrical currents. And to be honest, it needs probably a full-on guide, as it will take a while. You have to pretty much go through some toxic areas with the spores, taking on a bunch of the ghouls, unless there is a way to get to the medical doors themselves, which I think might be possible if you explored from the bunker down below and came up the other stairway. This is where you're going to come across much tougher variants of the actual ghouls, or actually called thralls. They will literally take like 5 or 6 shotgun bullets to the face before they'll actually die. So yeah, good luck with that. You're definitely going to need some better firepower. Once you explore the rest of the corridors, keep looking for this section here with the light, and you'll pick up the cellar door key. Also check out all the recordings and it'll explain about what's gone on here a little bit with different scientists. In this section there will be a door that you can't access as it needs a special passcode key, and that's what you're going to get from someone that is in the church. So I won't explain more than that, I'll let it work out and try and not give you too much more info about the story. But on one of the desks inside the laboratory you'll find stimulants and one of the special skills. This is the only one that you can get via a injection rather than a manual. And it's pretty powerful. It will give you resistance to all sorts of infection, basically the spores or radiation, as well as one of the other perks giving you consumables, restoring more health over time. So really good. I highly recommend getting the one that reduces the infection from spores for sure. And if you missed out on getting the poison, bleed and burn resistance, then you need to return back to the medical with the key that you've just got from the scientist and then go exploring via the auditorium. So technically this is moving on to the interchange again. This is a highly dangerous area. You will encounter more of the thralls. Find a way to disable the poisonous or radiation gas, unless you've already got some of the resistance ones crafted up, which you could probably just run through and take a bit of damage, but otherwise there should be a few little bits and bobs to turn the power on and turn on the fans. And eventually, once you've gone through another few corridors, taking more of the thralls out, you'll get into the auditorium itself. This is also a big part of the story where you can maybe get one of the endings, or I'll just say that, to do with the scientist in the cellar. Right at the back you'll find a small room leading to some caves, and on the side you'll find a resistance manual. Probably useless because you probably spoke to Billy, the trader with the weird blue eyes in Casterfell Woods, but yeah, I'm showing you every single one. And since we are in the interchange, which has got various different entrances pretty much on each one of the maps, but we're basically going to go and get the second crafting manual, so maybe a bit earlier for sure, depending on what you've done and what order you've gone, to go ahead and upgrade your guns. Doesn't matter which entrance you use on what map, they should pretty much direct you to the main hub, but you are going to need to find one of the atomic batteries, so you can get them from completing certain dungeons in Casterfell Woods or taking care of some of the barred robots. So if you head through the doors or find the door that marks out Data Store Delta, this is where you need to go. You've used the battery in the first hub room, that is by the body and by the first battery place that you need to put one, but you still need a second battery as mentioned to go ahead and unlock this next part. And to be honest, this one's pretty much one of the simplest ones. As long as you've got that second battery, you can go ahead and power this place up, and that will give you access to the Delta storage room. But you will need another passkey, and it's literally behind this gated door here. So you'll notice the water and all of these machineries. You're actually meant to do a jump onto the machinery, keep clambering up, and eventually you'll be able to get on the gangway, and then there'll be a dead body with the key that you need for the storage room. May want to look out, there are some of the killer leeches in the water as well, and if you've restored power before doing this part, it does make the water electrified, so you don't want to mess up and fall in. You can then open up the gate from the other side, and as I said, all you've got to do now is restore power. All the shutters will open up, and probably might have done this in one of the other areas maybe first, maybe data storage Charlie, but yeah, you'll notice there's a small room now that you can open up. It's on the very bottom floor where you can see all the electrified water. And inside you'll find another crafting manual and some more stimulants. So I actually found this one as one of the first manuals that I came across in the game. So it really is odd how you can play ATOMFALL, like there's so many different ways you can go, and you might have gone and completed the windham stuff first. So as I said, it might be a bit useless to you, but otherwise this is a relatively easy way to get one. And then finishing off with skethmoore, probably the toughest zone to really move around depending on how far or what you've done in the story. It's guarded mostly by protocol soldiers and outlaws, and they've all got much better equipment than you've probably encountered, plus murderous crows. But in a little barn you'll find a rogue soldier who set up camp selling counterfeit goods maybe, and he has got something you need to get. It's the Firearm Mastery Manual. 3 perks are reducing firearm sway, reduced recoil and increased firearm damage when your heart rate is low. So definitely recommended at this stage if you're exploring skethmoore and you've got guns. I'll try and get all 3 of these. And this place you'll find in the northwest, it'll be marked out as the trader camp 3676. And then there is another one, but you need to break into the skethmoore prison to go and get it. And there's a couple different ways into this. There's one in skethmoore direct, but there's also a way through data storage C or Charlie. It's labelled the detention centre on the signboards. If you already managed to pick up one of the signal disruptors, then you'd have to use it to get the next second gun manual. Otherwise there is actually a signal disruptor in this place as well. I do believe you can only really access it if you went full frontal assault via skethmoore prison. Chances are you won't need it. You'll probably have got the earlier one, and that's much simpler to get. But you never know. You may have gone through the interchange and you're already in there exploring a lot and managed to open up a bunch of doors and stuff. As you can see, I've been climbing through this little room and direct the current to this doorway in the big large prison cell area. It's the one with the electrical sign on top of it. And there in the filing cabinet wardrobe you'll find the second Firearm Mastery Manual. So what skills are best? Well, it's all about where you find them as well. There's no point in telling you that the firearm skills are amazing if you're not going to get until the end game. But for sure, the bow mastery I think is really good, especially as the bow is just pretty OP as it is. Stealth, as I mentioned, I think it's a game changer, especially if you're trying to be more stealthy and silent, obviously. And yeah, gun crafting is pretty much needed if you're going to progress with your guns to go and get them upgraded to pristine. The crafting one also does give you the special ability to have more items on you, which is always beneficial too. Let me know if you found these. Had you complete the game already and missed some of them? Do you really think they need more buffs or changes in the future update? Until next time, Ratbags, I'll catch you for more ATOMFALL guides. Laters.